Making your first $100 in a single day using artificial intelligence isn't just a financial win, it is a structural shift in how you value your time. Up until this point, your understanding of income has likely been linear. You work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. But once you cross the threshold of earning $100 a day using a system like ChatGPT, the equation changes. You stop acting as the laborer and you begin acting as the architect. Most people view AI tools as a novelty, a way to cheat on an essay or write a funny email. They are missing the point entirely. When used correctly, this technology is the greatest form of leverage available to the individual investor today. It allows one person to produce the output of 10. In this video, we are not going to talk about hacks or tricks. We are going to break down the specific blueprint you need to build a $3,000 a month income stream using AI, and why, once you set it up correctly, it becomes a digital asset that pays you even when you aren't at the keyboard. The journey to your first automated income is often called the Valley of Disappointment. This is where 90% of beginners quit, and it is important to validate why that happens. When you first start using ChatGPT to build an income stream, whether that's writing articles, creating digital products, or building newsletters, the early results are often discouraging. You spend hours learning the prompts. You generate content that feels robotic or generic. You put it out into the world and nobody clicks. You might spend 20 hours setting up a system and earn exactly $0. At this stage, the effort-to-reward ratio looks terrible. Feels like you are shouting into the void. It is easy to look at the AI gold rush and feel like you arrived too late, or that it's all just hype. But the reason it feels slow is that you are still thinking like an employee. You are expecting an immediate paycheck for immediate work. But building an AI income stream is like planting a fruit tree. The digging and watering happen first. The fruit comes later. The Valley of Disappointment exists to filter out the people who are looking for a lottery ticket instead of a business model. The math of small numbers works against you here. Earning your first $5 feels meaningless. But earning $5 from a system you built once is infinitely more valuable than earning $20 from an hour of manual labor. Let's look at the math, because this is where the tipping point happens. To make $100 a day, that is roughly $3,000 a month. That is a full-time salary for many people, or a mortgage payment in most cities. That if you are working manually, let's say as a freelance writer or a creator, to earn $100, you might need to trade 5 to 6 hours of intense focus. If you stop working, the money stops. Explore. But with AI, we introduce the concept of digital leverage. Let's assume you are creating SEO articles or digital guides. Scenario A, manual. You write one high-quality article. It takes you 4 hours. You sell it for $50. To make $100, you work a full 8-hour day. You are capped. Scenario B, AI assisted. You use ChatGPT to outline, draft, and format. You act as the editor. That same article takes you 30 minutes. Now look at the compounding effect. In that same 8-hour day, instead of producing 2 articles, you can produce 16. If even half of those sell or generate ad revenue, your potential income doesn't just double, it scales exponentially. This is not about being lazy. It is about efficiency. When you have a system that can produce value 10 times faster than a human, a 10% margin becomes a fortune. The first $100 is the hardest because you are building the machine. But going from $100 to $200 doesn't require working twice as hard. It just requires tuning the machine you've already built. So, how do we actually execute this? Once you understand the math, your strategy must change. You are no longer a writer or a designer. You are now a media operator. When you are starting out, you might try to do everything: prompting, editing, marketing. But to hit $100 per day consistently, you need a core and satellite strategy for your AI business. The core. This is your primary high-value asset. For most people in 2026, this should be a niche authority site or a digital storefront, like Etsy or Gumroad. This is where you own the traffic. You use ChatGPT to build the skeleton of this business, generating the product descriptions, the blog posts, the email sequences. The satellites. These are the traffic sources. You use AI to repurpose your core content. You take one blog post, ask ChatGPT to turn it into 5 Twitter threads, a YouTube script, and a LinkedIn post. This strategy didn't make sense before AI because it would take a team of 5 people to run it. But now it makes sense for you to do it alone. You use the AI to handle the volume while you focus on the quality control. You stop asking ChatGPT generic questions like, "Write me a blog post." Instead, you give it a role. You are an expert copywriter. Write a blog post using this specific tone, including these 3 keywords, and formatting it for high retention. You move from being a creator to being a director. You are not painting the canvas, you are telling the painter where to put the brush. As your system starts to work, something shifts in your mind. This is the maturity phase of the digital investor. Early on, every decision feels critical. You worry about which prompt is perfect, or which AI tool is the best. You get shiny object syndrome. But once you see that first $100 day, you realize that the tool doesn't matter as much as the system. You move from decision fatigue to system trust. A novice panics when an algorithm changes or a tool gets updated. A pro realizes that the fundamental human needs, information, entertainment, solutions, haven't changed. You simply adapt your system. You also start to view your time differently. If you spend an hour watching Netflix, that's fine. But you now know that same hour could have been used to prompt your AI to create 3 digital assets that could pay you for years. You start calculating opportunity cost. You also handle red days better. If your traffic drops one day and you only make $20, you don't panic. You know the assets are still there. You treat it like a business owner, not a day laborer. You look at the monthly trend, not the daily variance. This stability is what separates the people who make money online for a month from the people who build wealth for a decade. Imagine what happens when this stabilizes. $100 a day is $36,500 a year. For many of you watching, that covers your rent. It covers your groceries. It covers the car payment. When your basic survival bills are paid for by a system that runs on a computer, your life opens up. You aren't stressed about your boss's mood because you have a safety net. You aren't worried about a recession because you have multiple income streams. This is the promise of the Passive Income 2026 roadmap. It starts with the first dollar, grinds through the valley of disappointment, and eventually hits that tipping point where the momentum takes over. If you are ready to take this seriously, we are building a roadmap for this entire year. We are going to cover everything from AI to dividends. If you want to see exactly how to invest the money you make from AI into stocks that pay you dividends, you should watch this video right here. It is the perfect next step in your journey. Let's get tactical. A common mistake beginners make in Act 7 is tool bloat. You subscribe to 10 different AI tools, Jasper, Copy.ai, Midjourney, 11 Labs, and suddenly your overhead costs are $300 a month before you've earned your first dollar. For the $100 per day blueprint, you only need a lean stack. In 2026, you really only need 3 things. The brain, ChatGPT Plus. This is your writer, coder, and strategist. Don't use the free version if you are serious. The reasoning capability of the paid models is the difference between an amateur and a pro. The visuals, Midjourney or Ideogram if you are selling digital products or content, text isn't enough. You need high-end visuals. The assembly, Canva or Notion. This is where you package the product. That's it. Stop looking for the magic tool that does the work for you. The magic isn't in the tool, it's in the workflow you build between these 3. Keep your expenses low so your profit margin stays high. In 2026, the internet is flooded with low-quality AI spam. Endless blog posts, recycled scripts, rewritten tweets, and soulless listicles. Google hates it. Platforms quietly suppress it. And customers don't even get angry anymore. They just ignore it. This is where most people lose. They open ChatGPT, generate something that looks good enough, copy-paste it, and publish. No editing, no thinking, no perspective. And then they wonder why nothing works. If you do this, you will fail. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in this entire system, the human moat. A moat is what protects your business from competitors. It's the thing that makes you hard to replace. In the past, moats were capital, factories, or exclusive distribution. In 2026, everyone has access to the same AI tools. AI is no longer an advantage. Your taste is the advantage. Taste means judgment. It means knowing what matters and what doesn't. It means understanding what your audience finds boring, what they find obvious, and what they find genuinely useful. AI can generate information, but it cannot decide what is worth saying. This is where the 80-20 rule comes in. AI should do 80% of the work. Researching topics, structuring the content, drafting the first version, summarizing complex ideas. This saves time. This increases speed. This removes friction. But the remaining 20% must be human. That 20% is where you add personal stories or lived experience, humor, timing, and tone, specific real-world examples, context that only a human would notice, fact-checking and corrections, opinions that take a side. This 20% is everything. This is what we call the human moat. It's the layer that makes your content uncopyable. Anyone can regenerate the same facts. No one can replicate your experiences, your biases, your instincts, or your willingness to say something slightly uncomfortable. When you edit an AI-generated script or article, don't just fix grammar. Don't just shorten sentences. Inject friction. Add a line that challenges the reader. Add a sentence that admits uncertainty. Add a take that might annoy someone. For example, most people will tell you this is easy. They're lying. Or, this sounds smart in theory but it breaks the moment real life shows up. That's what builds trust. Brands are built on perspective, not information. Information is free. Perspective is rare. Without a human moat, you're not building a business. You're just adding more noise to an already exhausted internet. But with it, you create something that algorithms reward, platforms protect, and audiences come back to. Not because it's perfect, but because it feels real. Once you are consistently making $100 a day manually, the rules change. Up to this point, your time has been part of the system. You research, you write, you publish. That's fine in the beginning. But the moment your income depends entirely on your daily effort, you've built a job, not a business. This is where the scale begins. This is the automation phase. The core principle is simple. You cannot scale if you are the bottleneck. If every dollar requires your direct involvement, growth will always hit a ceiling. To move beyond that ceiling, you need systems that work without you being present at every step. This is where glue tools come in. Tools like Zapier and Make.com don't create content. They connect your tools together. They move information from one place to another automatically. Think of them as invisible employees working 24/7. Now imagine this workflow. A new trend starts gaining traction on Google News. Zapier is set up to monitor specific keywords or categories. The moment that trend appears, Zapier triggers an action. That data is sent directly to ChatGPT. ChatGPT automatically summarizes the trend, drafts a script or article outline, structures it for your platform. Once the draft is ready, it's sent to your email, Notion, or dashboard for review. You didn't research. You didn't brainstorm. You didn't start from zero. You just saved 2 hours. Your role has changed. You are no longer a freelancer doing tasks. You are now a business owner managing a pipeline. Your job is decision-making, not execution. You review the output, apply your human moat, approve it or reject it. That's leverage. Automation doesn't mean removing quality. It means removing repetition. The creative judgment stays with you. The mechanical work gets delegated to systems. The end goal is simple but powerful. You wake up. You check your dashboard. You approve or edit what matters. And then you go about your day. That is what people actually mean when they say passive income. Not zero effort, but minimal high-impact effort. You built something that works even when you step away. And once you have that pipeline, scaling becomes a math problem, not an exhaustion problem. This is the most important part of the entire video. This is why you are subscribed to Smartora Finance. Making $100 a day with AI is great. But AI income is cash flow, it is not wealth. Cash flow pays the bills. Wealth buys your freedom. If you spend that $3,000 a month on clothes, gadgets, or liabilities, you are back to zero. The Smartora strategy is to take this high-velocity income from AI and transfer it into high-stability assets like dividend stocks or real estate. You use the robot AI to feed the machine, the stock market. You take the $100 earned from ChatGPT and you buy shares of a company that pays you dividends. Now that money is locked in. Even if ChatGPT disappears tomorrow, your stocks are still paying you. This is the ultimate game. You are using the technology of the future, AI, to buy the security of the past, assets.